Now, let's get to a more serious issue. Let's look at Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu losing in the court of public opinion in America. Let's listen to this report from CNN.
His net favorable rating. It is the lowest on record, according to Gallup, and they have records going all the way back since the 1990s. What are we talking about here? Well, in April of 2019, before, obviously, Israel in Gaza and the latest war that's been going on for a long time, Benjamin Netanyahu was on the positive side at plus 13 points. Look at where he is today, minus 23 points. My goodness gracious. You look at those under the age of 35, his net favorable rating at this point, get this, 53 points underwater. My God. And this, of course, has everything to do with Israel's actions in Gaza. The American people at this particular point not exactly liking what they're seeing, and they believe that Benjamin Netanyahu is in large part responsible.
Ami, how important is that? Israel obviously needs America's support, so public opinion in America is not an inconsequential issue. And when you look at those 18 to 34-year-old figures, minus 53%, is that something to be concerned about?
It is, absolutely. Look, those polls are real, right? That's not a fake spinning by CNN. It's a problem for Israel. Look, but the issue that Israel really has is they are fighting this victimhood and emotion-based narrative. And those are very hard things to fight. Look, they're fighting against somebody who's looking at these very terrible images, right? And it's very difficult to try to create an argument against that, even though Israel is in the moral right. But there's no question that the media is helping push a lot of these images and narratives. And let's take, for example, what's going on in this whole idea of starvation in Gaza, right? We're hearing a lot about that recently. And it's being pushed, obviously, by the mainstream media, including CNN. And I think we have to understand a few things here, just to clarify what's going on. First of all, Israel does not control all the borders of Gaza. So we're 100% clear on that. They don't control the southern border of Gaza, Rafah crossing. Egypt controls that. Israel doesn't have a single soldier on that border. Egypt can bring in whatever they want into Gaza, okay? And I know that you were told there'll be no math on this show, but let me give you a little bit of the math, okay? First of all, Israel has delivered 1 million tons of food aid, over 1 million tons. The Egyptians have delivered a third of that, actually less than a third of that. This is their co-religionists. These are their Arab brothers. And the World Food Program did an estimate that in order to keep Gazans with enough food to sustain themselves, they need 62,000 tons a month. And guess what? If you multiply that over the years of the war, that ends up to a little over 1 million metric tons of food. Miraculously, magically, Israel has delivered almost exactly that amount. Yet, the story that they're pushing continuously is Israel's trying to starve Gaza, the genocide. And now they're pushing this new thing. I think we also saw the horrifying images of this child that looks skeletal. It's horrible, right? The images, obviously, I feel terrible for him and his family. But at the end of the day,
Ami, I want to...
sorry.
I know, and they've acknowledged that image was actually not what it seemed. But, of course, the damage is done once that reporting is out there. But I just want to play you this next bit because I think this is also very important about how public opinion has changed on this issue since 2017 on who Americans sympathise with more.
For the longest period of time, Americans have sympathized more with the Israelis than the Palestinians. That's still the case, but it's only by +5. You go back to May of 2024, it was +17. Right after October 7th, look at this, it was +48. In 2017, it was +39 points. That is a dramatic drop. That is, what is that, a 43-point drop since the aftermath of October 7th. And again, under the age of 50, you look at those younger voters, it was +38 Israelis all the way back in 2017. You look now, it is +19 Palestinians. There has simply been a complete change of opinion on this topic.
Again, Ami, complete change of opinion there. And when you look at those younger voters, the figures are even more stark.
Yeah, no, it's a problem. It's not good. Let's be honest about it. Those numbers are dramatic. There's been a dramatic shift in public opinion in the U.S., and Israel needs the U.S. It's this number one allies, no question about it. You cannot afford to lose the American people. Americans historically have always been very supportive, as those numbers showed. I think Israel has to take those into consideration as it prosecutes the war. I really do. They can't be tone deaf to that. And look, I got to say, these numbers can be turned around, but while those numbers are real, it's CNN and the other players in the mainstream media that have been pushing these anti-Israel narratives, which have led to the decrease in support of the U.S. polling. And that's really what it comes down to.
It's having a huge impact